So I'm now taking my Payne's Gray and I'm mixing up a batch of Payne's Gray, but I find that that's too dark. Let's soften it up a little bit with some yellow ochre. Give it just a hint of that warmth, just a little bit, okay? So like I said, we could wet this whole area, and I think I'll do that. Let's wet that area. And put a very nice light wash in there. That'll dry lighter, so let's just enjoy that like that. Okay. Because I can always come over top with a straight brush and make some of those marks again after it's dry. Now let's go to this side. Because these stones are quite light, this is probably too, I'm going to add a little bit more yellow ochre in here and lighten it up just a bit more with water. Okay, so this time I'm going to dry brush it a bit, and I'm going to start from the top, and I'm just going to fill it in. As it's coming down here, I'm just letting it dry brush. Now, to me, that's just a bit too even-y up there, so we're just going to dab it out a bit. Okay. Make it a little rougher. I like to just add a little bit of texture in there, too. Okay. Maybe just a bit here. All right. Why not? So I'm very happy with that color combination. Now we have this dark stair here, and because the colors are there, we can take it right now and use it, or we can add just a little bit of indigo into it, just to blue it up a bit. Steal it up like we did, because there is a little bit of a darker area there. Okay, so let's start with just under the door. And I'm dry brushing again. And then right, whoop, look what I did. Nice light there. I went over it. So I've lost that light a bit.
Where's the light? Like this is
It's
the only
coming.
shadow. So that's the only part that's really in shadow.
Exactly. The whole thing is in shadow, and that's the only thing that's actually coming up, and I've already covered it too.
So that was Payne's Gray and
A little bit of indigo in that yellow
in the
ochre.
original mix.
Yeah.
And a little bit of ochre.
So I'm now just gonna try and just get rid of, oh, I have another rag here. Oh, that turned out good too. I would recommend that again. So I'm gonna go and take some of the water here, and I'm just gonna drop it in here and let it do some blues. That's a great way of doing it. Okay, just leave that, because now we've got some texture. Okay, now let's deal with the window, because we can't really do the door. If we do, we're going to start meddling around with the wet around this. And I want to just let it dry while I'm letting everything else. So what am I going to do for that window? We have this part that's actually white. So I'm going to show you how the wax crayon works. Just by rubbing the crayon down or candle, it causes a resist to happen. It can't be actually removed, but the paint won't go on it, okay? So now, I'm going to try it with a large 1-inch brush, but I'm not sure I'm going to achieve what I want, because it's maybe a little too tight trying to use the corner of the brush. I'm going to come in with the same color that I've got here, okay? Because it's pretty much equal value, all right? In actual fact, I see here that I should make it this a little bit darker, so it's already on the dry side, so let's just do that. And maybe a little bit here. I'll come back to that. So I'm picking up more of the same color, and now we're going to try and fix the window in here. And you can see how, where the wax is, it lifts. There you go, I'm already out. Okay. I'm okay with that. So I'm just going to dab that, because that's where the wax is. Okay. Now, I would say this same gray, with maybe just a hint more of the indigo, is what we want to do on the door, okay? We see it here on the edge, right here. And then pretty much we can go anywhere, it's not going to be a big issue, and just layer it down. And there's even some down here. Even a little bit here. And I don't care about the evenness of it because we want it to be uneven, all right? We also want a little bit of more texture, and I think what I'm gonna do now is with my other brush, just come in with a little bit of yellow ochre, just slightly in different places.
Just looking at, I was just going to ask you, with, you know, the way the bricks are sort of textured there,
Right?
you could have possibly, I'm just thinking,
Yeah.
can you possibly use your candle there on some of those bricks
Oh,
as well?
absolutely.
So that they would resist the color and keep it light.
Exactly, and kind of give it that texture-y, what even
Yeah.
maybe give it that gloss and stuff that we
Yeah.
want.
Because it's
So-
sort of, you can sort of see that in the window, you
So
got that texture. So
We
it's
can do
neat.
that right now and do it now. This is almost dry. And let's see if we can do it, because we're gonna be layering some other colors in here, so let's see what happens. Definitely up here, let's do that and see what happens. We can just intimate that there's something here, so we'll just add a little bit in there. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm bringing some yellow ochre over here, because there's some yellow ochre in here, in that reflection and up underneath the, and it goes, oop, that's the door. Nope, is that the door? No, that's
That
this.
little bricky underneath.
Yeah. I think that. It's actually, this is part of the door. I've made a bigger frame, so it's actually up above here, just underneath there. I think that'll work. Is there anything, oh, there's a little bit more on the other side. Right in here. Because the door actually comes up, so just let it play there. I'll put it over here. Ooh, that's a lot. Okay, let's dab it out. There's a bit more here. So yeah, you could easily put more of the wax around. So let's finish off a little bit more down here. Is it dry? Almost. So we'll just go through that process, and then I'll stop the camera, and then you can try this. Okay. I just want to darken up this one area here with that same coloring. So again, trying to just come across here. And I think it goes down here, and then a little bit here, and here. And it's quite dark up above here. So let's see if I can still use some of that. I'll come back in later, it's too wet. Okay, that's our first part.
Okay, thank you.